I struggled a little bit with how to actually wrap up everything for the last semester of the MBA cohort, but that struggle is not unlike the end of a program like this. So what I decided to do is take the last two courses, smash them together in one review here. I'm calling it the Capstone Courses. It was part of the Capstone project that we did for the MBA cohort, and then the other one was a class on execution. So it feels like wrapping it all up and talking about how to get things done. And it feels a lot like the way it is at the end of business school, where you just want to get everything done and get out there and start working. The first book for that execution class was a book called The Execution Premium, Linking Strategy to Operations for Competitive Advantage. It was written by Robert S. Kaplan and David P. Norton. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I wrote this about it. While it is exactly as dry as you'd expect most graduate level business reading to be, the concepts and information are invaluable. The authors propose some profound ideas and back it with some great detail, research, and process planning for your future needs. A tiring but worthwhile read. And I guess when you're thinking about business school, anything that is a tiring but worthwhile read is something that's good. The other class that we did was a project class, where really you were supposed to take a business innovation or a brand new business and create a business model for it. So we have 2 business plan kind of workbooks here, and they're both actually quite good for different reasons. So I am going to talk about him here in the reviews. First one is called The Successful Business Plan, Secrets and Strategies by Ronda M. Abrams, and then a couple other contributions here too. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars as well. It's a very comprehensive reference for business plan generation. We used it as a way to begin, as well as an 11th hour checklist to make sure that we'd covered all the relevant bases. It was good. It was really sort of just a structure type book. But the book that I definitely want to recommend here is this last one, and it's called Business Model Generation by Alexander Osterwalder, which is a Goodreads author, and Yves Pineur. It is probably the most exciting book that we had in the entire MBA program. And it's a business model generation book that really has some alternative ways to look at creating a business and scheduling out a business model for success. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I wrote this about it. I said, the crowdsourced information and graphic presentation here created a sweet and digestible alternative to the stale majority of the textbooks in my MBA program. While the Canvas model isn't a cure-all for every business idea, the book stimulates the minds of those on the ground floor to expand their thinking into new realms and methods. Now, I've purchased and given this book to many different people that I've met since taking the MBA program. This Canvas model that it's talking about, this business model canvas, is a great visual way to get out your ideas and to create something. If you're looking at whether it's just a new innovation in business or looking at starting a new business altogether, this book, I think, is the perfect way to approach things, because it gets you out of your head, it gets you on paper, gets everything visual. I talk about in the review the crowdsourced information. It was the idea of going out and talking to lots of different smart people about the ways to go about designing business models, and then compiled here into this. It's really a workbook. It's informational, but it's a better way to think of it is a way to get your ideas organized and get going, which is kind of the concept behind this entire last semester in the MBA program. We had a class on execution. It was one of my favorite classes in the program. And then we had this capstone project where we actually got out and started to apply the concepts that we learned through the whole course. It was a great way to end the program. But like I kind of talked about at the beginning of this review, it's once you start getting kind of tired of taking these courses, it's when you want to just sort of wrap everything up. So that's what I've done here. This is 2 classes, 3 books, all one semester of business school, because I just want to finish these MBA books so we can get back to some of the fun stuff. And we've got, just like what happened at the end of my MBA course, I started reading just pop fiction. So we've got some interesting and very popular books that were out on the market coming up in the next reviews. and the MBA books are done. So these 3 books all here, the one that I really recommend the most is Business Model Generation. I give it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's by Alexander Osterwalder. You can find him on Goodreads because he's a Goodreads author as well. But if you're thinking about starting a business or thinking about improving a business, this particular book, this workbook, is a great tool for success for getting that far. So jumping out of the MBA, jumping out of textbooks, I don't think there is more nonfiction coming up, but not for a while, because once I left business school, all I wanted to do was have fun and reading. So that's what's coming next. See you next time.